Hey World Changers, Pastor Ryan here. I wanted to come to you with some information and some exciting news about the first steps of us reopening as a church. We are so excited to see each and one of you again, and we have missed you all, but we just can't wait to hear all that God has done in you and through you during this crisis, but also all that He's going to do through you as we reopen. Now think of this reopening kind of like a sunrise, not a light switch. All right, what we mean by this is it's going to be a slow, phased in reopening. We're not going to flip a switch and all systems go like they were back before this crisis. It will be a sunrise as we continue to monitor and assess and make adjustments as needed. So with that being said, the first steps for our church reopening is actually coming soon. It is happening starting on June 7th. Sunday, June 7th, it will start until further notice. So this will go until we're notified and we'll notify you. Now, what this first step will look like, these are family services in multiple suites. So all families together will attend a service in multiple suites, and there'll be multiple services over the length of a weekend. Now, these attendees that are coming will need to get tickets for that service and that suite that they're going to. And during this first phase, Kidz Ministry is provided only for those kids whose parents or caregivers are serving in that service. So Kidz Ministry is only for the World Changers kids, for those parents and caregivers that are serving elsewhere and need a place for their kids. Also during this first phase, or first reopening step, there will be no midweek services or ministries happening. Now, as a Kidz Ministry, during this time, our goal will continue to be to provide a safe and sanitized environment for your kids, the World Changer kids, to experience God. Now, with this in mind, these are some things that will look different, okay? It's gonna look a little different than before, and we are showing that we care in new ways. So here's a sneak peek at what I mean. So as World Changers with kids in this season, there are a few additional expectations that we want to make you aware of so that we're all on the same page and we're all working together. The first one is this: as World Changers, if you are experiencing an illness or have symptoms that could be an illness, do not feel any pressure to come and serve. In fact, stay home if you will, and just notify your pastor or director so they can make necessary adjustments. Also, be flexible, all right? Other thing we're gonna expect of our World Changers is just be flexible. You may be asked to serve on weeks that you're not typically serving, but just be ready to pitch in when and whenever you can. Also, midweek service and ministry World Changers, if you serve on a Monday through Saturday time, typically, your ministry is not happening, or that service is not happening, so you may also be called upon or asked to serve, since our ministries on Sundays and over the weekends will definitely need some help, all right, and need filling holes. So if you are ready and comfortable to start back, we will need you, so be flexible. The third expectation and thing you need to know is that services will require a ticket, all right, to keep those gatherings within the limit, and to help keep with upkeep with tracing. Even our World Changers will need tickets. So if you're serving at that service, you also need to go follow the link and get a ticket for you. And if you have kids, get a ticket for your kids as well. So be ready. That's an additional step. Not only hit accept on that planning center notification, but also go and get a ticket for you and your family or whoever is serving. All right, you will need a ticket to serve. Now, fourth thing, there's going to be some additional ways that we're showing care in times like these. Here's what I mean. One, we need as World Changers to sanitize your hands often throughout the service. All right, and if you don't have any sanitizer like this, we'll provide some for you. It'll be smaller than this, so don't worry. But we'll provide hand sanitizer, so be ready to sanitize your hands periodically through the service. Also, plan on wearing a mask. As a World Changer, there you go. You will be required to wear a mask. Now, if you don't have one, we'll provide you with one. All right, just once again, showing that we care for our kids and our families. And then also another way we can show we care in new ways is by giving air high fives, air fist bumps, you know, those greetings and those things that you can do from a safe physical distance. And then last but not least, as often as you can, practice physical distancing whenever possible. So those are some additional ways that we need to show care. And last but not least, an additional expectation for us as World Changers. You'll need to go through the same check-in process as our kids, And when you do, after you've gone through and turning your ticket, got your temperature scanned, got a pump of hand sanitizer, and gone to a computer to check in, after that check-in process, you'll do the same thing as the kids, but after that, we'll get you a sticker that says, I've been checked. That way, our parents, other world changers, we know that you guys and the team has been scanned and good to go and cleared for serving that day. So those are just a few expectations. Now I want to go into what it's going to look like on a typical service, because the service may look a little different too. So listen closely. The very first difference that you're going to actually experience is in our check-in process. There's a few added measures in our check-in process that I want to make you aware of. These are for kids and for us as world changers. This is what it's going to look like. All right, when they come into our ministry areas, the first thing they need to do is present their ticket. The first stop is going to be a ticket check. The second stop of all this check-in process is going to be a temperature scan or a temperature reading with one of these infrared thermometers. All right, so we'll all make sure that we get scanned, and kids and world changers alike. If you're 100 degrees or over, you will be turned away, or if you don't have a ticket, turned away. Encouraged to come back next week, and can't wait to see them. The third step in the process of checking in will be you will receive a squirt or a pump of hand sanitizer upon entering the door, in which you can apply and get ready, and whatever you touch coming in, and we're going to sanitize and get ready to start fresh. And then the last and fourth stop in the check-in process for kids and world changers will go to a computer, to a staffed by a guest service leader. Go to that guest service leader computer and let them know what your name is, and they will check you in, or you give them their phone number and they will check you in. And upon that time, if you're a kid, the kids will receive the name tag, the guardian will receive a guardian receipt, and they'll also lastly receive a piece of paper with any kids' names on it that are in that family or in preschool and elementary area to use for curbside checkout, which I'll tell you a little bit more about later. So that's what check-in will look like. 4 extra steps, a ticket, and then temperature, hand sanitizer, and then staff-controlled check-in where they receive their name tag, guardian receipt, and a piece of paper for curbside checkout. Next, you'll go into the service, and services may be a little different as well. So I wanted to let you know and notify you what the services may look like in this phase. For nursery, the services will be very similar. They will continue as normal with fun and engaging lessons and a snack time. And as always, our nursery world changers keep wearing gloves whenever changing a diaper or handling food. And don't forget to sanitize or wash your hands often. So nursery will be very similar. And on the preschool and elementary side, for those preschool and elementary world changers, the service adventure will still be interactive and engaging, and it will include a few new things. So it will include games and activities that kids can participate from in their seat. All right, there won't be any free play, so free play will not be open during this phase. And also, they will sit in chairs that are 6 feet apart. So do our best to maintain that, reset up chairs, move them as needed. And then last but not least, there will be throughout the preschool and elementary service a periodic hand sanitizing stop where everyone stops, world changers go around and give all the kids a pump of hand sanitizer midway through service so that they continue to keep those hands sanitized and our surfaces sanitized as well. All right, and now that we've gone through the service, it is time for checkout. Here's what checkout will look like as world changers and in your different ministry areas. For nursery, the checkout, the rule of thumb, the heart is to try to cut down the amount of people in the hallway and outside of the rooms. So encourage our parents and our leaders and world changers to take turns going down the hall to avoid congestion, and try to minimize the amount of items that we're handing back and forth. For example, one of those items that we hand back and forth commonly is the guardian receipt. In this phase, just have the parent show you the guardian receipt without passing it. So keep that in mind, try to minimize on the things that we're handing back and forth in our nursery area. Also, nursery world changers for checkout. Be ready to encourage the parents to wait outside of that room and then bring the child to them or whatever the child came with that day. We want to try to mitigate and decrease the amount of people coming through those small classroom doorways and waiting in that small waiting area of the room. So encourage parents, wait outside the room and go get the child they need and bring it to that doorway. And for our preschool and elementary world changers, your checkout process will be a curbside pickup or curbside checkout during this phase. So what that'll look like is parents will roll up in their cars next to the curb, and then they'll show that slip of paper with their kids' names on it. a guest service leader will page those kids over the microphone, and then another leader can help escort that kid, giving them a pump of hand sanitizer on their way out, so they're not taking any germs that they got from inside our area out to their car. So they'll receive one more pump of hand sanitizer on their way out, and then that leader can help make sure they get to the right car with the family they need. And that's what checkout will look like for preschool and elementary world changers and kids. And now at this point in our service, we've done check-in, we've done our service, we've done checkout. The kids are gone. After that, when all those are done, checkout is done, then what we need to expect as world changers, be ready to pitch in, and it's all hands on deck as we clean the area that we were just serving in. But so before you leave, be ready to clean these surfaces or things that were touched or handled, things like door handles, things like computers, things like toys, microphones, light switches, and more. So last part of your service before you leave for the day, be ready to pitch in and help sanitize our areas and get it ready for whatever's next, the next service or the next service next week. So that is the before service check-in, the during service format, and also the after service checkout and cleaning things and procedures. And to wrap up this information pre-training video, I just want you guys to encourage you. This will be a time of learning as we go and make adjustments when needed. So be ready to practice the fruit of love and patience with each other and with us as a team. And then also, if you have any more questions or concerns or any clarification, do not hesitate to reach out to your pastor or director. And then I would just want to personally, Pastor Michaela and I, all of our directors and ministry team leaders, we want to thank you in advance for showing your care in these new ways, and we can't wait to see you again soon.